Turning our attention to the equity market, up just over 0.1%, 45,201 points. One of the companies reporting today is Sephaku Cement. Now swinging to an interim profit with headline earnings per share coming in at 2.78 cents. This compared to a loss of 5.69 cents. Now the cement producer initially targeting production at its integrated cement manufacturing plant Aghanang for the second quarter of 2014. Let's get into how they're positioned in the overall cement market now. CEO Lelai Mahabu and joining us now to unpack the numbers. Thank you so much for joining us today. Let's just look at, Lelai, the fact that you've got the backing of Dangote owning around 64% of the company and what that means for the group, because you are, of course, a smaller, newer cement producer in the country, but how do you see yourself positioned for future growth now?
Hi, good afternoon. Just a slight correction there. Dangote Cement owns the majority stake in Sephaku Cement, not in Sephaku Holdings. To answer your question directly, he brings with him a lot of expertise and experience, being the largest producer of cement on the continent, and also for our own benefit, having Africa's deepest pocket. It does make a big difference in terms of bringing that value onto the group.
Mm-hmm. Going forward, you talk about looking to gain market share in the Gauteng province. I mean, what type of price points are you looking at right now relative to other players here? Are you looking at growing volumes? Are you looking at trying to undercut? I mean, give us some insight into where you're positioned along that curve.
Are you referring to the ready-mix business or to the cement business?
In your cement business.
The Gauteng market, we have a milling plant in Delmas, which is different from the one we have at Aghanang in Lichtenburg. The milling plant in Delmas is destined to service the Eastern Gauteng market, and we're looking at producing about 1.4 million tons of cement annually there, and about 1.1 down in Lichtenburg. The pricing, I couldn't hear the other part. Did you speak about the pricing structure?
Well, I mean, you're talking about gaining market share right now, so I just wanted to get some, insight into that specific, thrust of your strategy.
Whether we're going to gain market share by starting a price war, the answer is definitely no. We do not believe that we're going to go into the price and try and drop into the market and try and drop prices. We're going to go into the market and try and find a niche for ourselves, and also try and get a service level that the market finds acceptable. Mm-hmm. And by so doing, we think we will be able to gain market. We've actually been able to measure this through our Sephaku Edge business, where we went into the market when all the players were playing, and we just did some things a little bit more differently. And by so doing, we're able to capture 40% of the market share in 2 years. Not by pricing, just by better quality service. And better quality product.
It was always interesting, this investment by Dangote essentially in South Africa, in a country where everyone says there's excess supply in the cement markets. So what is the outlook then for demand going forward? I mean, why do you see a company like yourself positioned for growth, especially given that you're a new investor essentially?
At the current moment, I think the question of capacity is getting misinterpreted, because capacity speaks to killing capacity. The people or the companies that can actually produce clinker that can then be turned into cement. And as we speak now, especially as far as the outlook is concerned, we're looking at a number of kilns that are very old, and by old I mean 38 plus. That should be coming down in the next few years to come. And when that happens, we'll be running short of capacity again. So our outlook is such that we will, the demand versus capacity that line will cross by 2017, and the demand will keep on rising.